Mr. Manyatshe, thank you so much for joining us. You are the whistleblower here, but tell us why now?
I think you need to get the timelines right. I was the CEO of Vele from September to October, and my CEO was terminated because I asked how the company gets its money. And then I was only called back to become the executive chairman after the curatorship has been implemented. So your question almost says that you were there all along. I was there for 3 months, then I was out, and I'm back for 2 months, and seemingly I'm out again.
But Mr. Manyatshe, my question is, you were there for 3 months.
Yes.
Did you open a case? Did you report this?
In that 3 months, there was nothing that I saw. I only asked, how is the company making the money that it's making? And that's when I was demoted very quickly, when I asked where the money was coming from.
With VBS, Mr. Manyatshe, you're quoted in the papers saying that Vele Investments did not pay for its shareholding at VBS.
If I can put it correctly, the way I put it, is that I see no evidence flowing from Vele to VBS buying the shares that it claims that it has.
What else, Mr. Manyatshe, that did you do in your capacity now when you're back to actually try and fix the situation or do something that might fix the situation?
I think the first thing that I did, I blew the whistle on this, and now the hawks are working on it, and everybody's concerned that this must be fixed. I'm talking to potential investors that can invest in the bank, etc. But the problem is that every second day they're shocked by the revelations that comes out. But we're working through that. We are hoping that in 2-3 weeks' time, we'll have firmed offers on the table which you can present to the curator and to the South African Reserve Bank.
Looking at Vele, how much is that company worth, Mr. Manyatshe?
There is only one company I know that is worth quite a lot, because it's got mine dumps which are of value, which has been quantified, etc. The other companies has got a lot of potential, and somebody needs to come and invest in them to make sure that the money that has been taken from VBS can be recouped.
Do you think VBS can recover from the reputational damage?
There's a lot of loyalty in Venda for the bank, but outside Venda, I think it will battle to rebuild its brand name. It will need a lot of commitment, but not only from the new managers, new board, new shareholders that will come in, but also from the black people to say that we've got this black entity that could have gone somewhere if the wrongdoing didn't come into place. So that's the only way that it can recover. There must be commitment from us to say that we're going to take it further than where it is now.
What other steps are you willing to take now, moving on from here?
I'm happy that there is now concern about the depositors, that the depositors must be refunded. And I'm also happy that the Chief Executive Officer said that they are waiting for the loss to be quantified so that they can pay it back. I just hope that they can go and pay 300 or 400 million now, even before the report of the curator, so that the depositors can be paid their money and they can be taken out of the misery that they are going through now.
How is your relationship like with the current CEO now and the current chairman of VBS, and also with the chief, the king rather?
With the CEO of VBS, we were on talking terms. I think he's a dedicated person, and I'm sure when the time is right, he's going to come forward and say what he is supposed to say. With the current CEO of Vele, I really don't want to comment too much about that. He said things that were just complete lies, which is not worth going into. The king, I know, is really concerned about the depositors and the fact that the depositors are sleeping at the bank and outside the environment of the bank. He really would like to see this thing resolved as quickly as possible. There are things that were happening that the king was not aware of. many people think he should have been aware of, but he was not executive of Vele, he was not executive of VBS. There was no way that you could know what was going on. There were things that were said to him that he believed in. There were gifts that he was given which is accepted as a king. As ordinary, we call them Maranda and Venda, we go and give our king gifts. And the king doesn't go back to find out whether the gift that you're giving him, you got it legally or illegally, or where does it really come from. He accepts it in good faith that he's being given the gift. In this instance of Vele, the king took the executives of Vele before my time and introduced them to many people who invested in Vele and also who brought their companies into Vele. So the gifts that he gets, it looks maybe peculiar now, but when somebody introduces businesses to a business, he usually qualifies for some sort of reward, even if it's 3% of the value of whatever it is. And if you take it that Vele claims that their value is over 35 billion, if you say for the introductions that the king has done, if you just look at 3%, what he got is really nothing toward the value that he brought to the company.